Hello, I'm Rupert Paget from Paget Property Investments Limited. I'm going to talk to you in my continuing series about the 6 C's, and this time it's the fourth C, which is cash flow. So, when we are looking for properties and we're deselecting these properties, how do we deselect on cash flow? Well, we've done our due diligence, we know the actual numbers coming in. We base it on the yield provided. Okay, now what is yield? There are different ways of measuring that. So what is our way of measuring it? Well, we simply take the purchase price, and we have the annual amount of cash flow that comes in and a rent that comes in, and it's simply that rent divided by the purchase price. So if, say, 100,000 purchase price, and then for an 8% yield, you'd expect 8,000 per annum on cash flow, on rent that's coming in. But is that enough? Well, how do we choose whether that's enough or not? The way we do it is we look at the actual net profit that comes in from these properties. So you take your rent, which we just said was 8,000 a month, 8,000 a year, which is about $650 a month. Now you subtract off that all your expenses. That would be, say, mortgage, maintenance, insurance, and if you're using a letting agent, letting fees. And you expect, say, mortgage, we could look at, say, about $300 a month. We could be looking at the maintenance, that's $1,000 maybe a year, and maybe a couple hundred, or about £20 for insurance per month, something like that. Now, if we do our calculations, we would expect that from this particular property, the total expenses would be about $480. So we said $650 would be our rent coming in, $480 expenses, $170 is our net profit. Is that good enough? How do we know? Well, our rule is simply, if, say, on the 12th month, let's say 12th month, there's no rent coming in, can we support it? Can this property support a 12th month without any rent? Well, we just said that our profit for the per month was 170. So 170 times 11 is 1,870. Now that is enough to cover the rent for the 12th month, which we just said was $650. So that's basically our rule of thumb there. If our net profit over 11-month period covers the 12th month, then great. We're all set to go. But what if our net profit was only $50 a month? That means we would be getting in £550 for the 11 months. Does that work now? No, it doesn't cover the $650 that we need as a new rent, as the rent for that month. So in that case, it wouldn't. C for cash flow would say no, deselect that property. So that's the C for cash flow. But we're also talking in this about mortgages. Now how do you calculate the mortgage? What is the correct mortgage to use? Well, we use the 5-year term. If the banks think that over 5 years the mortgage will stay at a particular fixed rate, then we assume that's going to be the rate that won't go above that for the next 5 years, and that's the rate we'll use. However, do we use a 5-year mortgage? No. Why? We use a 2-year mortgage. Now, why would that be? Well, after 2 years, you can remortgage the property. And if you've done your due diligence correctly, there'll be capital growth. And thereby, you can take out that equity that you've gained over those 2 years and use it to reinvest. So that's what we do with our properties. Now, that's C for cash flow. Our next C that we're going to be looking at is simply C for check. Join me in the next video. Cheers.